Hello. So super exciting. Today is the day. As you can see, I'm in my studio. It's still a little bit chilly, but it has warmed up and I'm not freezing my butt off, so that's good. As you can see, I've got my old torch here hooked up where it's been. I've got my new torch ready to swap them out. So I'm gonna go ahead and unhook this one, and then I'll do a little torch comparison for you guys before I get this guy hooked up, and then we can fire her up for the first time. All right, let's do it. So as it goes with most things, in my head, I thought this process was going to be so quick and easy, and ultimately that did not end up being the case. But rather than editing this video down or leaving some parts out, I really just wanted to give you guys the full, authentic experience. The reality is that a glass studio is just a complicated animal, and there are a lot of moving parts and different components involved. And anytime that you're upgrading anything or changing anything out, you're going to run into some growing pains. So I just wanted to show you guys the full experience and not, hide anything or leave anything out to make it look like I was more smooth at this than I actually was. So here I am just absolutely struggling with these hoses. I actually had to cut the video and go inside and raid my husband's tool cabinet for some pliers. And even then, it was just such a struggle to get these hoses to pop off. But ultimately, I was able to get them all the way off and get this old torch fully unhooked. Well, that was honestly a lot harder than I thought it would be, but I did get her unhooked. So this is my old torch. It's the GTT Sidewinder. As you can see, she's very well loved. And those hoses were on there for a really long time, so it totally makes sense that it was very difficult to remove them. But, I had to pause, go inside and get these pliers, but managed to get her unhooked. So I'll give you guys just a little comparison here. Just to kind of show you the difference between these two. So the major difference that's probably really obvious just looking at them is the size. The big difference in the size here, if you look at the fronts, you can see the nozzles. So these two torches actually both have the same inner flame. Without the triple mix, I guess, but they both have a 7-jet inner flame. This torch has just a single ring for the outer flame. It's a 15-jet outer ring. And my new Mirage has 33 outer jets. So this is going to be a much more powerful torch. It has a lot more firepower, and it's going to be a much bigger flame. So very, very excited about that. And then the other obvious difference here is the triple mix technology. So I don't know if you guys can see the openings on here are a lot bigger, whereas this one has kind of these smaller openings with these little lines around them. So basically the triple mix injects more oxygen directly into the flame. So not only am I going to have a bigger flame with increased firepower, but I'm also going to have a more versatile flame that I can kind of achieve more flame types. So it'll be easier to go from something that's a really soft, bushy, light flame into those really hard driving oxygenated flames. So yeah, that's the upgrade. Perfect. So next up here, I have this torch in place. I'm going to go ahead and hook up the hoses, and hopefully the process of hooking them up is a little easier and takes a little less time than unhooking the old one. Spoiler alert, it was not in fact easier, and hooking up the new torch was just as difficult, if not even more difficult, than unhooking the old one. Basically, I was just having a really hard time inserting the barbs into my old hoses there. They just did not want to cooperate. And I'm basically just going through each individual hose and inserting them and then tightening my hose clamps onto each one. So you can see me kind of gradually making my way through this process here. I sped this video up so much. This took such a ridiculously long amount of time. I thought I was going to be able to just hook everything up and, you know, it would be still like early afternoon, everything would be good to go. And that is just not what ended up happening here. But that's okay, you know, sometimes it doesn't go the way you expect it to, but you just kind of keep on fighting and struggling through it. And then, of course, I finally got to my last hose here and got to where I was tightening that last clamp. And then I actually tightened like one twist too far and broke my clamp, which was, you know, just the icing on top of the cake, but it is a very old clamp, so I can't say I was entirely too surprised that that happened, but you can watch that event unfold here. I managed to break one of my clamps, so hang on, I'm gonna go see what I can figure out to solve this. Okay, so long-term solution, I will definitely be ordering a replacement clamp, but short-term solution, I think a little duct tape will hold for now, so I can at least keep working in the meantime. So now I'll finish this up. So here I am tightening that super janky DIY clamp and then I'm just getting my large clamp here to make sure that my torch is fully fastened and secured to the table. All right, so my next step here, just to make sure everything's safe, I'm gonna go ahead and hook everything up and then I'm going to turn my gas tanks off and leave them for about 5 minutes. And this will let me make sure that my hoses are holding pressure and that there's no leaks in the system. All right, well, everything's hooked up. She's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it'll work for now until I get that replacement clamp. So I did pressurize my oxygen here and did turn this tank off. So we're holding air at 30 PSI here. And if we go outside, we've got my propane at 15 PSI, which is definitely too high, but I'll adjust that down after we get everything set up. So it is currently 1:47, so I'm gonna go ahead and just leave this for 5 minutes and come back and check, and if everything is still pressurized and still looking good, we can go ahead and fire her up. All right, so good news, everything's looking good. Oxygen and propane are both holding air, so I think we're ready to go. Always a little nervous lighting up a new torch, but I'm super excited. As you see, I got my hair up, I'll get my safety glasses on, I'll switch you guys over to the GoPro, and let's do it. So here's what happened. I went ahead and I lit up that inner flame and everything was looking good. You know, I accidentally blew it out with the triple mix there, some user error for you. But I'm kind of testing out that inner flame, seeing how small I can get the little like needle point flame going, and everything was looking good. You know, I turned on the other oxygen to that inner flame there. And then I went to turn on the outer flame, and as soon as I did, it was like I just immediately lost all propane pressure, and the flame just was not working, and everything just went out. And I was like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? And so I lit her up again, and I just went and I tried that outer flame, and just same problem. She was just not working. And to be totally honest, at this point in the day, I was just so frustrated. I was so tired. I was hungry, and I just didn't have it in me to figure out what was going on. So I left it. And a couple days later, I got my new clamps in the mail. So I took a deep breath. I went back out. I fixed my clamp. I checked everything. I realized that my propane pressure was just like way, way off. So I fixed that. And I lit her up again. So here I am just playing with the different flame types, and this time everything was just working beautifully. Look at that outer flame, and it's just a beautiful, bushy, beautiful flame. And then I can kind of play with the triple mix here and create those more oxygenated driving flames. But I was just so happy and so relieved to have everything working properly. It's just one of those things when things aren't working and you're not totally sure why. You just don't know if it's going to be like a $10 fix? Is it going to be something more complicated where you need new hoses, new regulators? So I was just super stressed for the last couple days, and just being able to actually break this new torch in and make this little mushroom was the best thing that could have happened to me today. And it was honestly so cold today. I knew I wasn't going to be hanging out in my studio for very long, but I obviously had to at least make something since I was out there. So, of course, mushrooms are one of my favorite things to make. I make them all the time. So I thought that would be a great way to kind of test out the new flame. Obviously, there were still going to be some growing pains. You know, I'm definitely adapting to the triple mix. It's definitely not something that I'm used to yet, and I did blow out the flame a couple times, just accidentally oversaturating that triple mix oxygen. But I'm sure I'll adapt and get used to it really quickly here. But I'm basically, just adding some dots on my mushroom cap. I'm using one of my favorite colors here, which is Mystery Adventurine. But I am just so happy. I can't even express how well everything was melting. This felt so smooth. All my glass was just absolute butter in this new flame, and I'm so excited about this new torch and can't wait to see all of the beautiful things that I end up making. And I'm just happy to have you all along on this journey with me, and thanks for watching my complete struggle bus of switching out from my old torch to my new torch. And I wish you guys all luck next time you upgrade your studios as well. And of course, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more glass blowing lifestyle content, and of course, demonstrations and tutorials. And as always, I will put the link to my Etsy store on the screen here and also in the description, just in case you're interested in checking out some more of my work and maybe seeing what I have available there. But here I am just wrapping up this mushroom, and I'll pull it off my punny here and just hold it in front of the GoPro so you can see what I made my first time on my brand new torch. There she is, just a cute little mushroom pendant. Anyway, thanks guys. You all have a good day.